Good morning everyone. I am Ashok, Assistant Professor at Iibs Ias Academy. I welcome you to Iibs Ias Academy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about India-Myanmar relationship. We know Myanmar is a neighboring nation which is near to the seven sisters, right? The northeastern states. So whatever the potential the Myanmar holds, we did not really tap on. It is one of the reasons for the underdevelopment of the northeastern territories as well. So for the development of the northeastern territories, we are adopting Act East policy. So for this Act East policy, the Myanmar is playing a very crucial role. So what is the significance of Myanmar? We will understand in this class. So initially, when you are talking about the Myanmar, we had really close relationships, right? So when we got independence, we established very cordial relationship with the state of Myanmar, right? It is mainly because of the warm personal relationship between Nehru as well as U, the Myanmar's prime minister. But eventually, the military junta has taken over the power, suppressing the democracy. And since then, India has distanced itself from the Myanmar. And initially, India gave considered economic and military help to the Myanmar, but after the problem started, when the problem started in 1962 because of the military coup. The coup or military junta has come together and it has overthrown the democratically elected government. And since then, right, relationship has faltered. Why relationship has faltered? Because India in any circumstances will not support aristocracy or autocracy. It will always promote democracy, the rule by the people, for the people, right? So for about 3 decades, the relationships between India and Myanmar have totally freezed, and India's support to the democratic movement in Myanmar strained relationships further. So obviously, when the government is in control by the military personnel, few selected individuals, and when India is supporting democracy, obviously that country will not provide sufficient measures to have the relationship come together. So that's why India's support for the democratic movement has strained the relationship further. But when you're talking about India and its neighbors, it is a basic necessity for India to establish democratic relationship or diplomatic relationship with all the neighboring countries for the development of India. So we call that national interest. And also we have one important factor, China. And because the China is investing hugely in Myanmar, so we don't have an alternative but to maintain diplomatic relationship irrespective of your ideological differences, right? So since 1990s, India began to engage Myanmar's military regime, and pragmatic policy has been mainly due to the China's rising influence. So why? Till now, for 3 decades, we have distanced ourselves from the Myanmar, and all of a sudden, we want to establish relationship with Myanmar. The reason is the Chinese influence over the Myanmar. And when the Chinese influence grow to the neighboring nations, it is a threat to India because the China has nibble and negotiate foreign policy, right? So now we understood how the relationship used to be and how the relationship is now. And what is the significance of the Myanmar, right? So when you're talking about the significance of the Myanmar, so India-Myanmar relationships are rooted in the historical, ethnic, cultural and religious way. Right, in all the ways possible, India and Myanmar relationship were tied together since the historical times, right? So India and Myanmar were ruled together by the British, right? Even before that, the kings were common along the northeastern territories as well as the Myanmar, and also the ethnic community that was present in the Myanmar. So it is more or less similar to the northeastern territories, and the cultural significance, it is similar, whereas the religious ties, the Buddhist majority nation, Myanmar. So all these are actually tying India to the Myanmar, and it is a land of Lord Buddha. And we know India is one country which gave rise to multiple world religions. The same way, the Buddhism has started in India, and India is a country for pilgrimage for all the people of Myanmar for the Buddhist sites. And the next one, geographical proximity of the 2 countries, right? So because of the geographical proximity, because when you're talking about 2 different countries like Latin America and India, there is no geographical proximity, so it is extremely difficult to maintain cordial relationships. When the country is together, it is just go and come kind of a relationship. So it is very easy because of the geographical proximity, and the Myanmar has about 1,643 kilometers of land border with India. So one of the largest boundaries are with the Myanmar, the northeastern states, right? And it is a gateway of India to the Southeast Asian nations. It is a gateway to the Southeast Asian nations. There are 10 countries in the Southeast Asian nations, and for those all 10 countries, this is the gateway for us. For India to maintain diplomatic relationship with all the ASEAN nations, so this is the only way for us. And large population of Indian origin people are actually living in Myanmar, about 2.5 million. So this is the significance of Myanmar, right? This is the map. These are the Asian countries, as you can see, and the Chinese influence is more on Myanmar. And for the development of the northeastern territory, we definitely have to maintain good diplomatic relationship with the Myanmar. And what are the strategic significance? What is the strategic significance we have with the Myanmar? The first one is the northeast connected. About 4 states have boundaries with the Myanmar. 4 northeastern states. So for the trade relationship, for economical progress, we don't have a choice but to maintain good diplomatic relationship with the Myanmar. And about 1,600 kilometers boundary we have, and there is a great amount of insurgents in the northeastern territories who are taking asylum in Myanmar and operating from Myanmar. So it is imperative, it is obvious that India have to maintain good relationship to throw away insurgency which is arising from the foreign land. And it is a gateway to the Southeast Asia, and we already discussed India has this northeast foreign policy. To enforce the northeast foreign policy for the development of the 7 sisters northeastern states, we need to have good relationship with the Myanmar. And since 2015-16, in the budget, we have provided some kind of grants for CLMV countries. What are the CLMV countries? Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar. For all these countries in the northeastern region, we have given some kind of grants in the budget so that our relationship will be extremely good. Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam, CLMV countries. And also the project development fund was actually given to them. And as Narendra Modi had said, there are 5 Bs which are actually connecting both the countries, the Myanmar as well as India: the Buddhism, business, Bollywood, Bharatanatyam and Burma take. So we definitely have to look towards the diplomatic relationship which will be in the extreme possible way, where we could tap the complete potential of Myanmar for mutual benefit of either of the countries. So for these kind of videos, please follow our channel. Thank you. Bye.